Molly Qerim has hosted one of ESPN's biggest and most watched shows, First Take, where every second is broadcasted live and every expression is caught on camera. But sometimes, even the most seasoned hosts forget that millions are watching. From mouthing, "WTF," after receiving an awkward on-air compliment to breaking into spontaneous dance moves right in front of her co-hosts. These are 10 unforgettable times Molly Qerim seemed to forget she was live on ESPN. One of the most talked about incidents came when Molly Qerim was caught mouthing "WTF" during a live episode of First Take. It was January 3, 2024, and the show was rolling along with its usual fiery energy, spirited debates, bold opinions, and the ever-dominant presence of Stephen A. Smith taking center stage. That morning, the panel featured analysts Dan Orlovsky and Mina Kimes alongside Qerim and Smith. Everything was business as usual until Stephen A. shifted gears in an unexpected way, turning the conversation directly toward Molly herself. As Smith began his monologue, he seemed to veer off the topic of sports entirely, choosing instead to comment on Molly's transformation over the years. "And look at Molly," he began. "Molly was sitting there once upon a time, just a host. Oh, now she's a supermodel in people's eyes, for crying out loud. We see all these photos of her everywhere and all of this other stuff. The bottom line is this: we evolve as time goes on." His tone made it clear that he meant it as a compliment, praising Qerim's career growth and rising public profile. However, while Smith delivered his praise, the camera happened to capture something far more memorable. In the background, Molly's face told a completely different story. As Smith referred to her as a supermodel, Qerim could be seen mouthing 3 unmistakable words. "What the F?" There was no microphone on her, so viewers couldn't hear her say it, but the expression was crystal clear. Her eyebrows shot up, her head tilted slightly, and the look on her face was a mix of disbelief, embarrassment, and exasperation. It didn't take long for the moment to go viral. The clip spread rapidly across social media, especially on X, formerly Twitter, and Reddit, where users replayed it frame by frame, laughing and speculating about what she must have been thinking. Some fans found it hilarious, calling it one of the best unscripted moments in First Take history. One X user even declared it the highlight of the show that day. Major media outlets like the New York Post and Outkick picked up the story, noting how such candid, unfiltered reactions made even a heavily produced show like First Take feel more authentic and human. But if mouthing profanity on camera caused a stir, what happened next would take things up another notch, when Molly completely left her desk to dance live on set. Rewind to June 2019. First Take was still in its earlier format with Max Kellerman as a co-host, and the chemistry among the trio, Molly, Stephen A., and Max, was at its peak. On that particular morning, the show's discussion had drifted away from sports into pop culture, as they often did. They were likely reacting to a viral dance trend or an athlete's on-field celebration. Instead of just talking about it, Molly decided to show everyone what it looked like. In a completely spontaneous moment, she got up from her moderator's chair and started performing a short dance, a quick shimmy with a twerk-like motion mixed in. It only lasted a few seconds, but it completely shifted the mood of the room. Stephen A. Smith immediately burst into laughter, clapping and cheering as Max Kellerman jokingly critiqued her moves like a dance judge. The moment was lighthearted and fun inside the studio, but once the clip hit the internet, opinions split sharply. Social media exploded with reactions. Some praised Qerim's confidence and sense of humor, commenting things like, "Molly's got moves!" Others, however, criticized the moment as unprofessional for a morning sports show. Critics argued she had forgotten she was on live TV. This incident opened up a broader discussion about the double standards women face in sports media. When Stephen A. Smith gets animated and dramatic on air, it's celebrated as part of his brand. But when Qerim lets loose for just a few seconds in a playful moment, it's dissected as a question of professionalism. Still, the moment showed her personality and ability to keep things light on a show often filled with heated arguments. And while that dance went viral, it wouldn't be the last time Molly would unintentionally cause controversy on air. Fast forward to August 15th, 2024. First Take found itself once again balancing humor with awkwardness when a joke about a foot fetish went further than anyone expected. The discussion that day revolved around the pop culture story involving an athlete's social media activity, something light but still sensitive for daytime television. During the exchange, Qerim jokingly asked why athletes seemed to have such unusual interests in feet, wondering aloud if this was becoming some kind of locker room trend. Her comment was clearly meant to be playful, but the studio's reaction was immediate. Stephen A. Smith's eyes widened in surprise, and he blurted out a dramatic, "Whoa!" The other analysts either laughed nervously or froze, creating one of those awkward silences that can only happen live. As the camera lingered, Molly's smile faded slightly, replaced by a look of mild regret, realizing the joke might not have landed the way she intended. Once again, social media erupted. Clips of the moment went viral on X and TikTok, with fans posting everything from "Molly keeping it real" to "Did she forget she's on ESPN?" The Sun and other outlets even covered it, pointing out how difficult it can be to maintain the right balance of humor and professionalism on a live broadcast. This time, Qerim's lighthearted attempt to keep the mood lively backfired slightly, but it also showed just how much pressure she faces walking the line between being engaging and staying within ESPN's family-friendly image. But not all of Molly's viral moments came from awkward jokes or spontaneous dancing. Sometimes she found herself playing the responsible co-host, stepping in to prevent an on-air disaster. On April 8, 2024, during another intense First Take segment, Molly noticed something alarming. Stephen A. Smith's open laptop was visible on camera. The screen could easily display private information, production notes, emails, or even text messages, which would be a major breach of professionalism. Without interrupting the flow of conversation, Qerim leaned towards Stephen A., subtly motioning for him to close the laptop. "Just close it," she whispered. "Trust me." But Stephen A., deep in his debate, didn't seem to notice. Molly's voice became a little more urgent. "They're zooming in on it. You can see your text messages, everything. I'm trying to help you out." Still locked into his rant, Smith brushed it off, jokingly responding, "That's not gonna happen." The exchange ended with Molly letting out an exasperated sigh and joking, "What a Friday show, guys. A nice little peek behind the scenes." The moment was quickly clipped and shared online, with fans applauding Molly for trying to save her co-host from embarrassment.